All right, everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue. We'll bring you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Learning the new equipment still, trying to get the mic and everything fixed, but we're doing well. Just wanted everyone to know we are going to be doing another Sunday live stream this February 28th at 11 o'clock, and this one is going to be a call-in show. So basically what we're going to do is, if you would like to participate, please send me an email at tim@onlinebigblue.com. Again, that's tim@onlinebigblue.com. And what we'll do is we'll send you a Zoom link, and all you have to do is download Zoom real quick. And we're just using the audio portion of it, so everyone will be into a separate room. And then, like I said, we'll try to take some callers, and I think it should be fun because, like I said, I've always wanted to do this radio thing. People still swear I'm an exiled radio host from the 90s. Maybe I was a zoo host. You know what? We're going to be giving away tickets to the Rolling Stones right now. If you can go to the number 23rd caller. And again, this is Tim bringing you the best in heavy metal and rock and roll. You know what's funny? I have all these buttons here and all these sound effects now, so it's going to be interesting. But let's get into the New York Football Giants. Blockbuster trades. Every time a player becomes available, Giant fans are like, you know what? We need to make a trade for that guy. We got to get him. No matter what, we have to get him. No matter if we have to give up hundreds of assets or does not fit under the salary cap, he is a benefit to the team. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I get caught up in that as well. So what I really think we need to do is just take a step back and look at potential players who the Giants could trade for in a blockbuster and which one of these players makes sense and which one of them are basically just nonsense. Hey-oh! Sorry, I'm going to keep playing with these buttons all day long. So get used to it for a couple days because I'm like a kid in a candy store. So the first player that I would want to take a look at that could potentially be a trade target for the New York Giants is, of course, Stephon Gilmore. You know what? This has been interesting. This has been bandied about because you know what? He's a 30-year-old cornerback. The Patriots are probably not going to be in contention next year, you know, because of their quarterback situation, and he is on the last year of a deal. So I would think the Pats would want to move him for assets, and he is a guy that has played at a high level for years. I mean, if you look at the yards per game allowed in coverage per season for Gilmore, 2017, it was 39 yards. 2018 was 25. 2019 was 25. 2020 was 19 yards. He was allowing 19 yards in coverage a game. Now, he did miss some games towards the end of the season with an injury, but you know what? He should come back at full speed. And he is a player, like I said, that the Pats would probably going to want to move on from because he's going to be 31 years old going into next season. He's going to be looking for another big contract. Now, his cap number is not overly manageable for the Giants. You know, you're looking anywhere between probably like $15 million. But you know what? He's a guy that if he came in, he would be the perfect complement to James Bradbury. Actually, if anything, I think he would be over James Bradbury. I think he would be CB1 and we would have James Bradbury at CB2. And I'm just saying that not because I'm knocking Bradbury, but just because that Stephon Gilmore has been so good for such a long period of time that he is the consummate professional. Now, the problem is, will he just be a one-year rental for the Giants? And you're more than likely going to have to throw in a first-round draft choice and maybe a player of talent because corners like this do not come available very often. So would I think that this trade would make sense for the Giants? No, because like I said, the Giants are just as much in a rebuild as the Pats are. They may be a little further. The Giants may be a little further ahead of the Pats right now because of the fact that, you know, we've already been accumulating assets and we're moving forward and that we're hoping that Daniel Jones is our quarterback. All right, come on. That was a little funny. We're hoping Daniel Jones is our quarterback. So, you know what? It would not make sense. His age and his contract and his renewal of a contract would just not make sense at this point in time for the New York Giants. Now, another guy that I have seen, and actually I did a video on which I laugh, is Odell Beckham. Of course, the Browns looks like they're trying to get rid of Odell. He's been somewhat of a minor disappointment. But the interesting thing is, if you look at what the contract value is right now, he is at a relatively reasonable $14.5 million in 2021. That's, of course, that's if he's healthy. And he's still only 28 years old. And yes, he's been coming off injuries, and he has the the stigmatism of New York and everything that went on here and how he dissed the team and everything else. But you know what? And he still talks about it. We've talked about this a million times. He still talks about the Giants all the time. He is the spurned girlfriend that, he's just that one that just never goes away, that they can never get over it. And I think unless he ever comes back to New York, either via the Jets or the Giants, that he's still going to be that way. Now, I think in regards to Cleveland, they would probably want to get rid of him sooner than later. They probably want to try to get some value for him. I don't think you're getting the first-round pick for him. His talent is unquestionable. But if you think you're getting a first-round pick for Odell Beckham, they're going to be, sadly mistaken. But what they need to do is they need to focus on moving out that contract and potentially, like I said, getting out from Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham and everything else, when Baker Mayfield, and breaking up that trio that everyone was so excited to see come on board. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the Giants are not going to trade back for Odell Beckham. They're not reaching back into that quagmire. They're really not going to. But you know what? It is an interesting trade, and it's an interesting idea because of the fact that he would solve the issue of not having that playmaker. He would be able to open up the field just off reputation alone, even if he's not the guy that he was 3 years ago. And like I said, $14.5 million is not a terrible number for him. So he would be an interesting blockbuster, but there's no way in hell that the Giants would turn around and bring him back in. Now, another player who I think the Giants may go after, maybe not go after, but who they could bring in, which would make sense, would be Julio Jones. Julio Jones has been in this league, God, since Moses. I mean, that's how long he's only been here since 2011. But he has been a consistent performer since 2011. He had the injury in 2013. He had the injury again in 2020 as well. But in 2020, he still had 51 receptions for 771 yards at 15.1 yards a catch and 3 touchdowns. And that's an off season. Now, his issue is, again, he is in the last year of the contract. The team acquiring him would only have to pay $11.5 million in salary in 2021. Now, he is an obvious first ballot Hall of Famer. And the same with the Pats and the Giants some way. They are in the middle of a full-on rebuild. They could be moving on from Matt Ryan, maybe not this year, but maybe next year. But they are in a rebuild. And what we need to think about this is, are we looking to acquire a 31-year-old wide receiver to help Daniel Jones? Now, he would help Daniel Jones out immensely. He really would. He would give him the big target that the Giants fans have been looking for. And while it would possibly, again, only be a rental, I could see Julio leaving the Falcons for a mid-round draft choice, or maybe a couple choices. You're not going to get, unless he's going to a contender that's going to overpay for him, you're not going to give this guy, you're not going to give the Falcons huge assets for this player. And so, I would give up a third rounder for Julio. I would prefer to give up a 4 and a 7. But as a blockbuster goes, he would be probably a viable option. Hey-oh. Just kidding. I know I'm having way too much fun. You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is right now? I got the microphone, and you know what I have to say about that?
Well, I have a microphone, and you don't. So you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
Okay, the buttons here are just too funny. Just too funny. I'm probably annoying people, but you know what? I'm having a good time. Now, the last player on the trade list is someone that we have actually, or the Blockbuster list, with someone that we have actually talked about, and that's Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown wants out of Baltimore, and he wants to play left tackle. Now, Baltimore already has a left tackle. This guy is a Pro Bowl caliber offensive tackle. And they, like Stephon Gilmore, they do not come available as often as you would think. He is only 24 years old. And this player would cost us. He potentially would cost us multiple first rounders or multiple high round picks. Anywhere between, and maybe even possibly a player. Because I've seen him play right now, like I said, he played left tackle. He played right tackle. He filled in when their left tackle got hurt this year. So he filled in. So he is a left tackle. He could be a bookend. You could have Andrew Thomas at the right side and Orlando Brown on the left side. And Orlando Brown only wants to play left tackle. And he right now is on a manageable contract. It would really cost us nothing in salary cap in 2021 to bring him over. Now we would have to sign him, and that's going to be where it gets tricky because he's going to cost 2022. But to bring him over in 2021, there's like no money involved. But we would need assets. We would need to be willing to give up the first rounders. And are we willing to do that? As a Giant organization, we're probably going to say no. But honestly, if you could get a player of his caliber at 24 years old, even giving up maybe potentially a first round pick and another multiple pick, maybe a second or a third or whatever, he would solve your problem on the offensive line. If Andrew Thomas is the real deal, he really would. He would solve our problems. We would have two linchpins in the offensive line who would be protecting Daniel Jones, who you're hoping is your franchise quarterback. So, I mean, as we're hoping that Daniel Jones is the franchise quarterback. So he would solve the problem. Now, he would limit our ability to sign, to get a wide receiver in the draft. He would also probably, and that's the other interesting thing. If we wanted to go after like someone like Allen Robinson, we probably could if we traded for Orlando Brown, because of the fact that we are dropping that money in the rookie pool. And then, like I said, his contract is nothing this year. Nothing. I mean, literally nothing. So that would free up cap space, especially if you restructured. I don't want to cut Zeidler. I want to restructure Zeidler. But if you did that, it wouldn't make sense. It would literally be a bold move, and I do not see the Giants doing that. Now, again, like I said, we are doing a live stream on February 28th. It is going to be a call-in show. If you want to participate, send me an email at tim@onlineBigBlue.com. Again, that's tim@onlineBigBlue.com. Just tell me you want to participate, and what I will do is I will send you a Zoom link. You just go to Zoom and you download it, and at that point in time, what we'll do is we'll activate the Zoom link, and everyone will go into like a queue. You won't be able to see anyone. Just keep your camera off and keep your audio. I'll have everyone's audio off. And when I'm ready, I will call you and I will drop you in, and then we will have a conversation. So, I think, like I said, it should be fun. We should have a good time, and we'll see what happens. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giant sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you're ringing that bell, you think you know what that means, that'd be awesome.